I'm going to be heading home soon, but thought I would first express some thoughts about the resignation of former Canadian Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland, who for years represented what would eventually become the federal riding of University Rosedale. I once lived in different parts of that riding, of what would become different parts of what would become that riding. Initially, on Sussex Avenue. I don't know if that part of Beverly Street on which I lived would become part of that riding, but I know that when I lived on St. George Street north of Bloor, I did live in what would eventually become that riding, but never voted in an election before I would ultimately move to Toronto, St. Paul's. Definitely looking forward to, as much as I possibly can, I'm just going to put that on, help the Green Party Canada win its first ever seat in the Greater Toronto Hamilton area. That is via an upcoming by-election with the resignation of Chrystia Freeland, not just from Cabinet, but also, well, of course, from Parliament, because of the expectation of her upcoming appointment as Canadian envoy to Ukraine. Thus, I look forward very much to helping as much as I can the Green Party Canada in that upcoming by-election. Date to be determined, but there's no doubt in the world that it's time for change in Ottawa. From the near duopoly that resulted in the last general election of most members of Parliament being either from the Liberal or Conservative Party. It may be that that will be that if there is a Green Party, if there's a GPC MP elected, it'll force change, it'll force the government to take notice. Even though that by-election will mean no change in government, just a change in MP. So, urge those who are eligible to vote in the upcoming by-election to get out and vote. Hopefully, for the Green Party and for the Green Party candidate. As I do not live in that riding anymore, and I'm not likely to for a while to come as ever, I know I won't be eligible to vote. So I'm going to do what I can to get out the vote for the Green Party candidate, whoever he or she is.